Welcome everyone to round 4 of the GT3 Masters Cup in Raceroom. So today we're at Salzburgring, which is a new track for both me and Brandon. So we had to, obviously learn it. So this is on my qualifying lap. I was having a really big struggle trying to get to where I was during my practice laps as I go wide here. Snap of oversteer doesn't help the exit down this back straight. How did your qualifying go, Brandon?
I think I had a fairly poor. I had a fairly sloppy qualifying as I had been in the previous few rounds. Within the last few minutes, I think I managed to pull a decent enough time. I think I got myself into second. We'll see at the start of the race. But it's a short track. There are a few areas where it's hard to nail it right and get yourself a good drawn lap, I guess.
Definitely, especially through these long corners here.
This section.
Yeah. It was very hard to get a rhythm through here.
If you got it right, you can nearly go flat through the final corner, but quite tricky.
Yeah.
Bit unstable there, but see what time you do.
So that is a 19.3. I think that was up with my fastest, I'm not sure, but yeah, so this is an endurance race, 1.5 hours. I'm starting 10th, and I think you're up in first.
Either first or second. I'm in the front row, but I have a terrible start.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can see.
Yeah, I get a really good start compared to that Mercedes. Looking ahead, I see Pinpoint in another Mercedes, so I'm like, damn it, I really need to get past this guy because otherwise I'm going to be stuck behind him. Looks like Medley and Jake, Rigel have a contact there. Try to go around the outside here of Bean, but another guy's coming down my inside, which was actually quite worrying because I don't think I've raced with this guy before, so I think he's new to this series championship. So I need to be aware of him. Going down this back straight, trying to get some slipstream off Bean here, but since everyone's in a line, everyone has slipstream, so it's hard to gain on people.
This long corner here was so hard it was one of the corners you have to be really careful on, because if you go wide and touch the grass, it'll just pull you right off the track and you'll lose so much time.
Yeah, I actually practiced trying to find out the best way to go off there. I know it sounds weird, but it actually did. It did help me actually.
Someone's crashed in the background. Not sure who it is.
Background. I don't actually pay attention to the background. But Sam here, he's slow. I'm not sure what happened with him. We go around the outside here. Sam hits the wall, and that's a massive hit there. All three cars are just out there, and that's also Jake going off. So gained like 4 positions in one corner.
Luckily, it was really close. You nearly got claimed by Sam getting off on that tyre there.
Yeah.
Now this is my start. We've never really managed to get good starts with these Corvettes, but it was fairly decent. Jake had a way better start than me, but I knew I was going to get robbed, and I dropped back down to 4th, first corner, and they all got through cleanly, so it was going to be tough for me to try fight back. I knew I'd have to do it early or Jake was going to pull ahead.
That was a massive tank slipper that Sam just had.
Yeah, just placed it on the outside a little bit, but that was never really going to happen. Now this is the longest straight, so I mean we're all going to get slipstream here, but you've got to give it a go anyway. And I was tucked in behind him, see if anything would happen. Jake already had made a decent gap at this point, which was a bit concerning. So I was just focusing on trying to get past as early as I could. The next person behind me was Medley, who had a decent qualifying and was performing well so far in this lap. But yeah, we entered the long right-hander. A little bit of a break there from Sam. Can't really dive down here. We can't dive at all in this league because of the rules. Just keeping it smooth and making my way to the end of the first lap, and not exactly where I wanted to be, but at least I hadn't dropped too far back. Sam goes a bit sloppy there, unfortunately, and that's what put him behind me. So yeah, I gained 1 position there. I don't
Looks like
think he
his
lost
car
too
was
much.
pretty unstable.
Yeah, and back to you, we skipped ahead a little tiny bit.
Yeah, so I was having this issue with my clutch was sticking there, and yeah, at first I was like, okay, this is a bit weird, but I'll just carry on.
Over there, I clipped the tyre, and I was like, alright, I can get back on. The moment I get back on the tarmac, the lightest touch of the throttle and puts you straight back around, and that's what happened fairly early in the race for me. Well, yeah, about 10 minutes in, and I was extremely disappointed.
Yeah, so I got past Brandon, and I was just gonna let him get my slipstream through here, and then I was just gonna let him through once he gets past, as I know both of us will be quicker if he gets ahead, and that turned out to be true. I got my fastest lap behind Brandon, which was my fastest lap ever, which was like a 18.9, I think.
Yeah, it was a good lap.
Yeah, so that's Medley there. He had an off. We'll see the replay of that. So he just gets a massive. He just puts down the power on the curb and just spins it. That's his whole front end going.
That'll be a lot of front grip and probably pit stop for him.
Yeah. So I'm up in 4th and you are 3rd. So I've made massive gains compared to where I started.
That's right.
That crash at the start really helped it. Yeah, so this is my first pit stop. Fuel is on 3 times, so we'll be using 3 times as much fuel as we would normally. So yeah, so coming to the stop, just fueling the stop, no tyres. Tyres will be next.
Yeah, so we're planning to have 3 pit stops in this race. First one fuel, second one tyres and fuel, and third one just a bit of fuel, I think. Something like that.
Yeah. So
it
I'll
wasn't too bad.
I'll lose a couple positions, but obviously they haven't pit yet.
Pretty clean stop. So my stop, I hadn't really practiced this pit entrance, but I was fairly confident with it. Came in and everything was smooth. I knew Rigel and Rodders were just up there, and so they're obviously slightly ahead of me. I was hoping to catch up as well as I could. A few people coming through as well. And I begin to make my way out of the pit. Now I've got the same tyres on, just a bit more fuel, but within that little short period of time my tyres would have cooled down and and I wasn't focusing on that and made a couple of mistakes running wide, and now we're on to Hayden.
Yeah, so that's another instance where my clutch was sticking, so that was getting quite concerning at that point. Going past the pits and getting a few positions. There's another one there, I think, and that's Jake. Jake has actually lapped car at this point, as he needed to come in for damage.
You're sitting in 3rd currently.
Yeah, so we're on for a 2-3 at this point. So Jake is wanting to unlap himself. Obviously, I was going to let him through anyway, but he forced himself to the outside. Going around the outside, and he gets it. So I just let him through, because obviously I knew that he would be faster, so I was just going to try to use him as I was using Brandon before to get my laps pretty quick. Yeah, and that's another instance where my clutch was sticking. That was pretty bad there. If I was going any faster or any further around that corner, I reckon when the clutch released, I reckon I would have got a massive snap of oversteer.
Yeah, that's right. There I've just come through and overlapped a couple cars. This is my 2nd stop. Also fairly decent entrance. A few guys already sitting in the pits. I think Charger had retired.
Yeah.
And I just popped myself in here. Decent pit stop, I guess. Things were going, other than the spin I had, things weren't going too bad. And comes in shortly after me. And we'll see what happens with him soon, I guess.
Yeah, so you leave as I was starting to put my tyres on, so...
Yep, leave the pits. New tyres this time, so more grip. This is you entering your 2nd pit.
So we're at 60% worn on the tyres.
Which is a lot of loss of grip.
Right there, my clutch sticked again, but it was in the pit lane, so it was the worst point for it to stick. So it raised the revs, and then when the clutch released, it pushed me over the speed limit, and it gave me a drive-through penalty because I sped in the pits.
Yeah, and unfortunately, other than somehow, well, you couldn't have really done anything about it.
No.
That was just one of those unfortunate things. But
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very pissed about that, as we're on for a 2-3. So
This is
here we
pit
go.
stop 3.
No, this is going through for the drive.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I think that's one position. 2. So I lost about 2 positions there. I think some of the other guys ahead haven't pit yet, so
Currently
yeah.
certain.
Yeah, so this is where the practice of actually going off helped, because during practice I quite often went wide there and hit their wall on the side. So I noticed that on the side you can get away with not having any damage, but obviously you have dirty tyres.
It affected you a little bit, but you managed to get away with it.
Yeah, so Jake is now full position now. He's right behind me. Yeah, so he's getting the slipstream down the back straight. I go to the inside. He's around the outside.
Might be close.
Yeah, he pulls out of it, or no, he just wasn't close enough. Still ahead. Can't really overtake anywhere around here. He tries to look down the inside. That means I have the inside for the next corner. And a bit of an oversteer there. And we have a pretty poor run there. So he had a better run. So he's going down the inside here. Braking for first corner. Try to stick it around the outside. And that was some weird touch there, because
Looks like you both got a bunch of oversteer.
yeah, I think I got some oversteer, then I tapped him and he got oversteer because of that, but yeah, we both survived. That there is a pinpoint going off, so that's another position for me.
It's not too bad. We're about 20 minutes to go at this point. Jake's on the pits.
Yeah, and I'm putting in this lap. Decreasing the fuel, because we found out that we could actually put less fuel in. And boom, right there, another speeding in the pit. I didn't actually see that at first, but I thought I got it because I lit off the pit limiter too early on the exit. Yeah, so unfortunately I have another drive through, which will put me back even further.
Yeah, it's dropped you a few positions.
It's a fairly short pit lane, but still, it's a big penalty. And
This is me coming to my... Yeah, I came into my third pit. Pinpoint was a bit stuck there. Looked like he was just trying to get himself around. Yeah, well, that happened. Came into the pits. And, I was trying to give myself less... I was trying to turn the amount of fuel down that I needed to fill up. But my option was locked, and so I had to end up putting full fuel back in. So that cost me a good chunk of time, and I knew that any chances of me gaining any more positions was pretty much ruined at this point. We had about less than 20 minutes to go. So I was just going to push it and see if anyone in front of me made mistakes. Which was only one person, actually.
Yeah, so that was me actually disqualified from the race. That was caused by me doing 2 laps after my drive-through was scheduled. And then when I was coming in, because the line is before the pit entry, it considered it being over 3 laps, and it disqualified me.
Yeah, and then I managed to finish in second place, I believe. Alright, so that was that race, and next week we'll be at Indianapolis Grand Prix Circuit. We'll see how that goes. I haven't driven that track in a while, but yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.